Oh my God. Can I just enjoy the cutscene? Damn. The time has come. I've heard the stories, I've seen the arguments, and now it's finally time for me to play Resident Evil 5. Now listen, after rolling credits, I will say this. I don't think this is the worst RE game I've played, and that's it. That's the highest compliment I can give this game. If I had to describe my RE5 experience, it's like drinking off-brand soda. It's serviceable, it gets the job done, but the whole time you can tell, this is not name brand. Hi, I'm JPtheHRMT, your favorite backlog gamer, so grab your Dr. Thunder and let's talk about Resident Evil 5. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. What is this, Mad Max? Going into Resident Evil 5, I really tried to keep an open mind, but here's my early hot take. This being a co-op focused game kinda irked me. I'd already gone through 3 Resident Evil games completely solo, just me, my nerves,
the sheer fucking will.
So having an AI partner right next to me, it immediately took some of the tension away. I never felt like I was in danger, and if things went south, my partner could hold aggro, chip in damage, and bail me out. That constant safety net changed the vibe for me. Now, quickly addressing the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm aware of the racism allegations surrounding RE5. Personally, I think a lot of the discourse misses the point, though the game does have questionable moments. I've heard other fans' arguments, and while I don't agree with all of them, that's a bigger conversation for another video. So for now, back to the game. My early hours with Resident Evil 5 were just okay. Nothing really stood out. The combat hadn't clicked yet, I wasn't really feeling the atmosphere, and that infamous piss filter. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Still, I've been loving the Resident Evil series despite its flaws, so I stuck with it, fully expecting that at some point, RE5 would grow on me. I was wrong. At a surface level, Resident Evil 5 follows Chris and Sheva as they travel to Africa to stop the sale of yet another extremely bad bioweapon. Umbrella really needs to get more creative. Things get personal pretty quickly though, because Chris discovers that Jill, who supposedly died fighting Albert Wesker, might actually be alive. And here's where my first real issue with the story shows up. That massive emotional moment is handled almost entirely through flashbacks. For something that should carry a ton of weight between 2 major characters, it feels weirdly brushed aside. Sure enough, Jill is alive, mind controlled by Wesker, and after an annoying double boss fight, she's freed. And then that plotline just kind of rides off into the sunset. No real fallout, no lingering consequences, we just move on. Oh hell no, ain't no way. Seriously? No. Hold up. Did Wes Anderson literally just copy this?
Yeah.
Yo, he copied this. Yo! What? How did he get away with it? Even with grabbing Shiva the way he grabbed Claire. Yo! Nah. From there, the game fully locks in on Wesker as the main event. We chase him to a deserted island for the final showdown, where I bear witness to the legendary boulder punch scene. Wesker is defeated, and we roll credits. And hey, I'm sure Sheva will be a very important character moving forward.
You serious?
The bigger problem is that Resident Evil 5's story just isn't very compelling. Chris and Sheva feel like generic action protagonists. There's no real growth, no arc, nothing that sticks with you. Ironically, the only interesting character here is Wesker, a returning villain from Resident Evil 1. His whole ideology revolves around wiping out the weak to create what he thinks is a stronger society. Is it over the top and obnoxious? Yes, and that's on brand for this franchise at this point. Wesker essentially uses Africa as a testing ground for this new virus, which could have added real thematic weight to the story, but instead it's left completely undercooked. Resident Evil 4 wasn't exactly subtle or nuanced either, but its characters, camp, and moment-to-moment fun kept me engaged the whole way through. Resident Evil 5, on the other hand, never quite finds that balance. So with an underwhelming story, does the gameplay at least pick up the slack? At its core, Resident Evil 5 plays a lot like RE4. Tank controls, over-the-shoulder shooting, stop the aim, and pray nothing hits you. I'm personally not a fan of tank controls, but after playing a ton of RE4, it felt second nature by this point. That part didn't bother me. The big change this time around is to focus on co-op. You're either playing with a friend or with an AI partner if, like me, you have no friends. And this is where the tension really starts to fall apart. Anytime I was low on ammo, I could just take some from my partner. Low on healing? No problem. I basically turned Sheva into a walking storage unit, a pack mule for my grenades and herbs. We will not think too hard about that dynamic. Because of that, most combat encounters felt very trivial. Even the puzzles clearly designed for 2 players ended up being kind of a joke. There was never that classic Resident Evil panic of barely scraping by. By the time I hit chapter 6, I wasn't hoping the game would get better, I was hoping it would just end. Even with new weapons unlocked, the gameplay started to feel stale compared to other Resident Evil games I've played. Co-op can be fun, and playing the final chapters with a friend made things even easier. But easier doesn't mean better, and if Resident Evil 5 ever gets a remake, this is the area that needs the most work.
Oh my god. Can I just enjoy the cutscene? Damn!
So after everything, where do I actually land on with Resident Evil 5? For me, it's a step down from Resident Evil 4. The story is underwhelming, the combat is fine, and Chris and Sheva feel more like action figures than characters. The African setting feels underused, which is a shame because the game could have done something really interesting with it. And while Wesker is easily the best part of the game, it still feels like missed potential. Bringing him in earlier, making him a constant unkillable threat, almost like a Mr. X or a Nemesis figure, could have added real tension back into the experience. But that's not the game we got. What we got is a co-op action game that can be fun with a friend, but doesn't fully hold up on its own. And for a Resident Evil game, I think it should. Because not everyone has someone to play with, and survival horror should still work solo. So yeah, Resident Evil 5 was a one and done for me. I don't regret playing it, but I don't see myself coming back until a remake rolls around. And hopefully that remake remembers what made this series special in the first place. Thanks for watching. Next week we're heading down to the dirty south with Resident Evil 7. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and maybe subscribe if you feel like I've earned it. We've still got 4 mainline titles left before Requiem, and we'll be streaming that journey over on Twitch. Join the Discord if you want to talk Resident Evil or just meet some cool people. We always have cookies. And until next time, it is Mateo Vert, your favorite backlog gamer, and you guys stay safe.